Today, we're going to be talking about these things. Precons. And I want to talk to you about my personal experience with precons and why I think they might not be right for you, depending on the person that you are. So if you're in the market for a precon right now, or you are just looking to get your first Magic the Gathering deck, or you are someone that buys a lot of precons, you might find this video interesting, so don't go anywhere. So I want to start this video by talking to you guys about my personal experience of precons, so let's get into it. So in my 2 years of playing Magic the Gathering now, I have bought a total of 4 precons. The first one was the Ahoy Mateys precon from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the second being the Mordor Lord of the Rings precon, third being the Animated Army Bloomburrow precon, and lastly this Jeskai Striker precon here. In all of these precons, I have thoroughly enjoyed one of them. Well, we'll go through them in order, okay? The first one, the Ahoy Mateys precon, that's always going to be my first love, guys. I love this precon. I will not say that I got this precon and absolutely thought it was perfect out the box. The precon was not as powerful out the box. It's still a good, decent deck out the box, but definitely wasn't, I don't think, as strong as maybe its competitors in that block of precons. But I absolutely loved the deck and I couldn't wait to start upgrading it. The second precon that I bought was the Mordor precon, and that complete different story. Now, I'm a massive fan of Lord of the Rings and I did not like this deck, and I tried to force myself to like it and just keep playing it, and eventually I couldn't do it anymore, so I stopped playing it. The deck was a mess. I didn't really enjoy what the deck was really trying to do. It just didn't really feel like me. The third precon that I bought was the Bloomburrow one. Now, this is definitely the best one out of the box compared to all of the precons that I bought. Like this was a really, really nice deck out of the box. Perfect for a new player. Very easy to use. But for me, I just didn't find the deck that interesting and fun to play. Whereas the backup commander Wildseer really appealed to me from a aesthetic and gameplay play style. Like, I loved the chaos behind it. So yeah, I decided I'm going to build around Wildseer instead, but that's led to other issues, which I'll get to in a minute. And then the last one was this Jeskai Striker precon, and this was just like, yeah, it's cool. I can see it's doing its thing. I definitely do get some enjoyment out of it, but it's definitely not up there with the others. There's still an element of when I go to play it, I'm like, do I want to play this, or do I want to play something that is probably more fun? In terms of all the precons that I've bought, I've definitely only been thoroughly happy with one of them. So yeah, I'm starting to question whether I should keep buying precons, and I'm definitely seeing a lot of cons after I've started to build my own decks. I've built 2 decks so far, Igra, and I've built my Vren deck. That was my latest one. Both of these decks I have thoroughly enjoyed, and it's really just given me a different perspective on just the game as a whole. So let's start out by saying I want to make it very, very clear that I love precons as a product. I think there is nothing better for a starter product than a precon for new commander players. They're not like your basic starter deck that you get in other games where you buy it and then it's completely irrelevant unless you just want to learn how to play, because playing against other people, it's just not going to be viable. Precons are not that at all. In fact, most people are playing around bracket 2 and 3, so it's actually such a good way to start playing. And these decks are powerful out the box. Well, most of them are viable enough out the box. Yes, they could do with some upgrades, but most of them are definitely playable out the box. That does not mean the experience with every precon is going to be the same, but if you are a new player and you want to get something that is going to be functional, especially these days, but these days precons tend to be built really, really well. They're just such good value for money. You know, you're paying like £40 if you're getting the product before they get marked up, right? So when they first get announced, if you just jump on the pre-orders, you're probably going to get a really, really good deal in terms of value for money. And another reason why precons are so good is because they give you a template to go off. So deck building in Commander is extremely daunting, especially if you're more of a casual player and you're not someone that's consuming loads of content. You're not trying to learn thoroughly about deck building and stuff like that. If you are literally just turning up, playing some games, having some fun, you're just playing it super casually, building a deck from scratch, something that's functional and fun and just something you enjoy playing with, it's really hard and it's really overwhelming. So in that sense, there is so much appeal to just being able to just buy a precon, and even if you want to start upgrading, at least you've got a template to go off. You don't just have to fabricate something out of nothing, right? Obviously, like, net decking is also a thing. Like, you can go and find decks on the internet and all that fun stuff. But again, if you're doing that, you still have the cost of a deck from scratch if you are buying one that's not a precon. In terms of like just a template to start going off right away, precons are fantastic. But let's talk about the cons, guys. Let's talk about some of the reasons what I'm starting to realize I don't think precons are really for me. So here's the problem, right? The more you start to play Magic the Gathering, the more you are going to start to really learn about how you want to play the game and what brings you joy, what spikes that dopamine when you're playing. And a lot of the time, if you are quite particular about how you like to play the game, there's a good chance that when you're buying precons and stuff like that, they're not always going to fall in line with how you like to play the game. And then you're fixed with this decision, because if you've got a few decks, right, you've got a few precons, and one really gels with the way you like to play and then others not so much, every time you reach for that deck, you're going to be like, but I could just play this, you know? And then you don't want decks to feel like a chore to play. And I have definitely had this feeling quite a few times with some of my decks where it's like, oh, I haven't played this deck in a while, so I should probably get this out. And then you play the deck and then you don't have as much fun. And then you're like, okay, I kind of just have wasted that few hours when I could have played this deck instead. And in my mind, I don't want any deck to be like that. I want to have a selection of decks, and I know that any of them is going to bring me a tremendous amount of joy. And I'm quite confident in the fact that I can build loads of these decks, right? We are absolutely spoiled for choice with cool commanders to build around, cool decks to build, so many infinite possibilities. So you don't have to bottleneck yourself into precons, which is exactly what they do, right? Precons bottleneck you into a certain playstyle. Because if you've purchased a precon like this, right, for example, the Jeskai Striker, I can say, okay, I want to start upgrading this deck, but I have to still stay in the realm of originally what this precon is trying to do. Because if I don't and I start changing too much, then it was kind of pointless buying the precon in the first place, right? You're trying to upgrade the deck, you're not trying to completely change the deck. Whereas a lot of the time I find that I've got all these elaborate ideas, and then I look back and go, this should have just been its own deck. So if you don't thoroughly enjoy like the playstyle, then you are going to feel a bit bottlenecked. I'll give you an example. For my Wild Seer deck, for my Animated Army precon, I wanted to make use of all of the enchantments that were already in the deck. But a lot of these enchantments were based around like power doubling and stuff like that. And I think that could be cool. It could be fun. But also, you know, if I wanted to go into enchantments bar like burn strategies, well, I'm screwed because none of the enchantments in this deck are around burn strategies. So now I've been bottlenecked into having to build around the power strategies. Oh, sorry. Battery died. Where were we? So yeah, being bottlenecked into a certain playstyle is not ideal for some, but it's actually great for others, right? Because if you're a person that is just too overwhelmed, it serves that person a lot to have a little bit of guidance. That first step is taken for them. Okay, here's your deck. It's trying to do this. See what you can do to make it better. And I completely appreciate that. Shannon, I'm making a video. I'll call you back. See ya. Always calling me when I'm trying to film a video. But yeah, so precons are great for that person, right? Just, you know, here's your template, go nuts. But for me, when I play decks that I have built myself from the ground up, like my friend deck, like my Igra deck, the amount of fun I have is tremendous. It's come from an idea that I've had, and I'm like, okay, I want to make a deck around this idea. And I want to use this commander, I'm going for this theme and stuff like that. And it's been completely, it's come from me, right? For example, if you guys haven't seen the video about my friend deck, the whole idea behind that deck is that it's a very like political deck, and I'm trying to manipulate other players into doing things about attacking each other so that I can make use of that and make rat tokens, because I basically didn't just want to make a control deck around Vren, because I just thought that's way more boring and that's probably what everyone does, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit quirky, a little bit fun, and very flavorful is what I was going for as well. So all of that idea is put behind every card that's in that deck, right? But a precon, someone else has built this. This is someone else's vision that they had, and then you're expanding on that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is kind of art in general, right? But for me, I personally get a lot more fun out of these decks that I've built myself. And I have started to think, well, this money that I am spending on these precons, instead of having several decks that a lot of them are like, and then a few that I love, I'd rather every deck be something that I love. And because of that, I'm starting to think, you know what? I don't think I'm going to keep buying precons unless they announce a precon that I think looks cool. And then I see the deck list and I'm like, okay, I see the vision. This deck is going to be super fun out the box. And I can also see where I want to go for it in the future as well after a while. Then great, I might buy it. It also helps to have precons to play with other players, new players that have precons as well. You can do this with like precon level decks as well, but yeah, it's cool to have a precon as well, and it's much easier. So for you guys, what I challenge you to do, okay, if you are really enjoying the game and you haven't built a deck yourself yet and you are interested in doing that, I strongly urge you to give it a go, right? And really try and build something that really suits you. Play that deck, right? Do what you need to do, and then ask yourself how much fun you're having with that deck compared to these other precons, right? Because you might find you're in the same boat as me, and then you might start to question, do I want to keep buying precons? If you have a load of precons and you love them to bits, then by all means, keep spiking that dopamine, keep doing what makes you happy, okay? This video is for people that are maybe questioning their own decks. It might just be you're like me, you have a very particular way you want to play the game, and you would serve yourself a lot better by building a deck that is completely in line with what you want to do or what you think is cool. So that's my conclusion for this video. It is really just to encourage you guys to build your own decks. Don't be scared, do it. I know it's a really, really scary process, but I think you will truly, truly thank yourself after if you take the time to build it, and it might change your opinion on buying precons in the future. But again, I love precons. I think they're great. I'm not saying I'm never going to buy one again, but I'm definitely going to reduce the amount I'm buying. I can't really see myself buying one this year, I don't think. I think I would rather just save that money and build something around cards that I think are cool. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, then you will love this one apparently, because the YouTube algorithm says that you will.